pay 25 to 30 on renewables, but until you begin to do them on a large scale, you're not going to have economy of scale. So if you have to advise a mayor that you run into how to have a balanced approach, what will you say to them to convince them that they should invest in renewables?
Okay, well, I definitely think there does need to be a balanced approach, because you're not going to accomplish really the growth in demand. You're not going to offset it by energy efficiency by any means, and we're seeing that in Virginia. So we definitely have to look at all of the resources and demand side management. As I mentioned before, we have seen this in a number of smart grid deployments, the early stages, where they thought they would see customer behavioral changes and they haven't seen them, or a reluctance where customers will buy in but then shut my air conditioner off for 4 hours and I'm out of this program. So it's the situation is that they're not going to stick with it, and the utility therefore cannot rely on that drop in consumption when they're planning for their power plants. So what you do need to do is a mixed approach, and technology will make that come about. The demand side program is easier, and some of the things we're looking at is being able to look at new technologies where we could cycle air conditioners, and again, the customer will not know, their comfort level will not be compromised. And I think that's the key, and we focused on what can be done on the utility side of the meter for energy efficiency, and also making it easier for the customer to participate. Generation side, we have what's called integrated resource planning, where we look at our future load, and we have to look at all of the options. And it is primarily based on least cost, but we do have in our statute a little bit of leeway that if we look at renewables, there can be other attributes that allow us to really go after some of these renewables. And what we're doing, to your point, we're not going to see them put in major large chunks, so you have to get started. And you have to start doing the demonstrations, learning more about them, and therefore how you can bring the costs down of these technologies that will then make it easier and make it more competitive.